All right, Steven Strom here, TalkNorth.com. We're about 3/4 of the way into the Major League Baseball season, and this is where you get a feel for where your team's at. And for me, yesterday it was a turning point with the Minnesota Twins and Miguel Sano walking off yesterday. You know, it just has that feel, and it had the feel since really the second month of the season where the Twins were, people were saying there might be a fluke, and then they start really pushing that division lead to 10, 11 games. And then as you start to see things unfold, the Miguel Sano walk-off home run, it was the first Twins walk-off against the Braves since the 1991 World Series with Kirby Puckett. You've seen games where they went to 17, 18 innings this year. The Twins are breaking records. I mean, they have guys on these teams that aren't even close to some of the talent like Mike Trout. You've got guys like Max Kepler, who has 30 home runs. You have guys like Jorge Polanco, Nelson Cruz, who's obviously a proven MLB hitter. But this season needs to be cherished. And this is what I'm going to try to say to the fans. I understand in life and not just in sports, we want more. We want bigger. We want better. The Twins were only projected to win 84 games this year. They are at 70 right now through 112. Do not jump ship here. Do not be, we should have went out. Cherish this, man. This has been one of the funnest seasons I can remember in a long time. And they have broken records. Like, they are the first team, the fastest team to hit 200 home runs. I think the next closest one was the Texas Rangers in 2005. They needed 122 games to hit 200 home runs. The Twins needed just 103. They hit 200 home runs in 103 games. They only hit 166 home runs last year. And they have 200, and this was a couple of weeks ago, so this wasn't even recent. But I'm just trying to reiterate that this is a magical season. This is a team that hadn't lost 3 games in a row since June. I mean, they went months without losing 3 games in a row. There's certain players on this team that are doing things they've never done before. Jake Odorizzi, he has 12 wins. He's 12-5. He has never won 12 games in his career. Martin Perez is 8-4. Kyle Gibson, for God's sake, is 11-4. There are things that are going on that shouldn't be happening. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Do not get crazy about this. They are winning these games. I know people were upset about the trade deadline. But just understand, enjoy the ride. When Rocco Baldelli sends out that lineup in October, and whether that be in New York or Houston, be okay. Be happy that this season has happened. And that's what I'm trying to say. And I was one of those guys that was at the trade deadline. Go get Bumgarner. Go get Stroman. And obviously those guys would have helped this team. But let's cherish this season. Let's cherish this moment. Because you don't know when this is going to happen again. And here's what I'll say about the trade deadline really quickly. Because I got into it a little bit about my show. But I didn't mind the moves. I didn't mind the tweaking. I didn't mind not going out and signing a big guy, because what it told me, what the message was to me, it wasn't that they were cheap and they didn't have the guts to make the move. It was more, we believe in our future. And this is how dynasties, and I'm not saying the Twins are a dynasty, I'm saying that this is how dynasties are built, through the draft, through your young players, through your prospects. And by the Twins not making this type of move, they showed me that they believe in this team, not just this year, but for years to come. 84 wins was the projected total this year for the Twins. They're at 70. This team isn't supposed to be here. This team isn't supposed to be hitting this many home runs. You look at the Dodgers and the Yankees, the face of the league, the big bad lineups. They have 192 home runs, which is great. The Twins have 219. That's 27 more home runs with lineups with Cody Bellinger, Justin Turner. You've got Aaron Judge. You've got Gary Sanchez. I mean, those are elite lineups. And you have the dinky cheap Twins, who have 219 home runs with guys like Max Kepler, Eddie Rosario, Mitch Garver, C.J. Cron, and Miguel Sano. It has been a fairy tale type of season for this team, and all I'm trying to tell you guys is at the end of October, even if this team doesn't win a World Series, the future is bright with Barreros, with Sano, with Polanco, with Kepler. Do not get all crazy over this season. Enjoy it. This has been a magical type of year. Just look at some of the numbers and really the records that they have broken here this season. The Minnesota Twins are on a magical type of season. Let's enjoy.